And here we go. We have liftoff. Propulsion continues to be nominal.
R68 chamber pressure looks good.
Following up. Roger, roger, Atlantic.
Water towers fly! Yes! They go down to nominal.
Fighting downside at speed off. Bring in SC off. Off. It's orange!
25. Oh my god! Oh my god!
Decollage.
What is it?
Put that in the big bag, Eagle.
343 unfolds to go.
Indeed.
We rise together, back to the moon and beyond.
The methane would be igniting in the flare, correct?
Yikes. Keep red. We don't need any more of these.
Howdy, howdy, howdy. Welcome to another episode of NASA Spaceflight Live. I'm your humble host, Jack Beyer, and today I am joined by our standard cohort of competent co-hosts, starting off with Mr. Sawyer Rosenstein. Sawyer, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. I mean, it's a beautiful Sunday. We've got a lot of fun topics to talk about and probably some terrible puns to make, so stay tuned.
Good deal. And also joining us today is Mr. Adrian Bile. Adrian, how are you doing today?
I'm doing absolutely fantastic. I'm looking forward to this combination of commentators because usually it means that a lot of jokes are coming your way. So stay tuned.
Yeah, we have, where was it? Somebody in chat, Jack Human in chat says Chaos Crew, and I think they have the right idea. Cool. So we have a lot to talk about. A whole bunch happened this week, so we will get right into it. But first off, I do want to mention that we do our standard NSF thing here, where if you have any questions, you can type it into chat. Type at NASASpaceflight. This is me miming typing. This is what that is. I'm not like a seagull or something. Can you tell I've been on the beach all day? So yeah, type at NASASpaceflight into chat. The chaos has already started. And type out your question, and we'll see your question pop up in some software that we have. And so we can answer your questions. Pro tip, if you want your question answered, probably keep it to whatever we're talking about at that point in time. Like if we're talking about Neutron, which we'll get into right off the bat here, maybe don't ask about Starship right at that moment. Like we're going to talk about Starship. There's a lot to talk about Starship. In fact, if you're following me or NASA Spaceflight on Twitter, we just had some breaking news today, so we'll get to that here in a little bit. But yeah, if you want your question, Catberts in chat says Seagull Jack confirmed in all caps. Good Lord. All right, well, we have a whole bunch to talk about. We've had Falcon Heavy. Of course, Starship stuff. We had Neutron updates from Rocket Lab, which is really exciting because I know we all like reusable rockets, and Rocket Lab does all kinds of cool stuff. So, of course, that's going to be awesome. So, yeah, let's jump right into it, starting off with Rocket Lab's Neutron updates. Adrian, tell us what happened there.
So we have seen in the past renders of Neutron, of course. But Rocket Lab has updated their website with some updated views on their upcoming new rocket. Now, for example, showing deployable landing legs that now have proper visuals. They also show their higher fins now that I have to say look a bit like I have to get used to that. And overall, the chomper design, which we know would go down from 4 to 2, is also visual. We knew that was happening. We knew that they would go with a 2 chomper design and no longer 4 area chomper design, but they have also shown that, and I'm also seeing that I'm now a bit loud, so I'm trying to correct it. But I'm right now, I think we also have probably some visuals of that, but yeah, overall, they updated on this upcoming rocket, which we don't know exactly yet when it's coming, but it's their next project after Electron, which should also get a mention here. There was an attempt to launch an Electron with the We Love the Nightlife mission, which scrubbed at T0, basically like at the last possible second. According to Peter Beck, that was because of a low igniter pressure on one engine, which in the end, made them scrap the mission. So they are now looking for a new target for that. There we see the.
Yeah, we don't. Do we
by-
have another window for their next attempt, or we don't know yet?
They said that they have some backup opportunities in the next days and weeks, but that weather, as we see in the tweet here, will very much determine the availability for new launch windows. So they're also waiting on that. But yeah, we have Electron hopefully flying soon and Neutron updates. So a lot of Rocket Lab happening.
Good deal.
There we go.
Let's see. We do have some questions here. Dirk is saying, I thought chompers from Electron were descoped in its latest update, but they are back. What's up with that? What's up with the chomper? That's what we're referring to, the fairing when we say chomper.
Yeah.
Not me secretly eating Easy Mac every time the camera's not on me. Don't worry about that.
It was easy, man.
And now-
That's what I thought.
If I would be
But yeah.
Kevin right now, I would make it a game to try to snipe you. Not gonna lie. Like, as soon as I knew that, yeah.
I was a little bit worried about it, but I know Kevin's a good guy, so hopefully he does not do that.
Oh.
There's a significant amount left, though, so he's got opportunities. Anyways, Chomper. It's the fairing for Neutron, and it does not detach. So the question is, what's up with that? I mean, that means they don't have to bother with complicated structures and recovery equipment on the fairings themselves just because they don't detach. I guess that would be what's up with that. I don't know. Sawyer, do you have any thoughts here? I think they look cool.
Oh yeah, it's like a real life game of Pac-Man almost with the opening and closing. But I think especially as they work on the plan to make everything completely reusable, that's definitely one way to do it. Because even with SpaceX right now, they separate, they parachute down, they have to recover them individually, fix them all, and then you can put them back, mix and match, so to say, in different missions. Whereas with this idea, it's easy enough. It's already attached. When you're refurbishing the stage, you're also including the fairing halves, and hopefully will make reusability quicker. So I think that's probably the logic behind it. And I hope it works in terms of making it that much quicker to get more flights off.
Right. Adrian, any thoughts?
Yeah, like, first off, it looks cool. Like, look at that. That's just cool. Although, I have to say, here's my opinion, I don't like the new forward fins. The new,
Really?
very high at the top. I don't think they look great. They look at the wrong place to me. Like, they should be higher or lower, but they're not at the right spot right now. But that's just my opinion.
I'm the opposite. I kind of like the where they're at. I think it's, I don't know, it just looks more proper or rockety, for lack of a better term. Very scientific term, I know.
Yeah, but it also looks
that
like you were
is-
putting fins on in Kerbal and you accidentally put them on the top instead of the bottom.
Hey, sometimes you need fins on the top, like if you're landing on Eve and you're just coming in all squirrely. I was going to try and think of a
It's
way to
kinda-
make Adrian say squirrel, but I can't.
Let's not make that a thing. I'm really opposed to making that a thing. Can we just not make it a thing?
Do you have
Oh
the
my
panel
God.
up, by the way? For completely unrelated reasons, do you have the panel up?
I have the panel up, by the way.
What is that second question there in the queue?
It's Steve saying squirrel.
Yay!
He said the
All right,
thing.
cool. He said the thing.
It hurts
All right.
it hurts me.
You did good. I don't know what the big deal is. It's completely normal way to say it. Need Pizza is saying, have we seen any progress on the landing barge for Neutron? I don't think we have. I haven't. I might have missed it, but
No, I don't recall any updates on that yet. I'm sure there's some fleet trackers in our team that would at this point probably have spotted it, but I'm not aware of any progress on that. But so yeah, I think, to be fair, Neutron is probably still a good chunk of time away. It's hard to fully predict where it will land. Well, it's not hard to predict where it land. It will land on the barge that we just talked about. But like when it will launch. So probably we're talking about 2 or 3 years at least, where with some rocket delays in there as well.
Good deal. Oh, Dirk is clarifying their question. They say, sorry, I meant that I thought they weren't going to do the chompers anymore. I mean, it looks like they are, based on the latest renders.
Yeah.
Let's see. Looking for a couple more questions. Ross is asking, any plans to do another interview with Peter Beck anytime soon for a Neutron update? I mean, anytime Peter Beck wants to come on NSF Live, he is 100% welcome. And any space company CEO, for that matter, we would love to have him. So that's definitely, something we would be open to for sure. I don't think we have any concrete plans at the... What are we looking at the Ever Given? Is that the Ever Given? Oh, it's a video from Rocket Lab.
Yeah.
I was like, I do not have maritime knowledge. This is going to be way out of my scope. Cool deal. Let's see.
We promise we won't make him eat any articles of clothing.
This time. This time.
Never promise we won't make merch.
True. Ooh, good point.
Let's see here. Michael is asking, is it possible that updates and changes in Neutron's design will delay its debut? I mean, it seems logical, right? I don't know. Sawyer, what are your thoughts here as we look at this beautiful electron? Not a neutron, but close.
Yeah, well, now you're looking at my beautiful face, or lack thereof. Anyway, I think...
Oh, come on.
No, I think that it's definitely going to cause some delays, as with anything. I mean, you're making total changes to the design. Any prototypes or anything you have built is now out of date, so you're going to have to work on it. And I don't think that's a terrible thing right now. I mean, obviously, Rocket Lab is doing okay as is currently with Electron. And a reminder that Neutron is basically going to be their equivalent of a Falcon 9, even though it's like going from a Falcon 9 to a Falcon Heavy. It's like going from a Falcon 1 to a Falcon 9 is kind of the best comparison I can think of in this case. So it's not the end of the world if it takes that long. They've got their niche market right now of small sats. But yeah, I think we'll definitely a little longer out.
Makes sense. Adrian, any thoughts, or should we move on?
Oh, move on. I have nothing besides that I agree with Sawyer.
Good deal. Let's see. Dale Needham is asking, what's German for squirrel, and can Sawyer and Jack say it?
Oh, jeez.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I will just type that in our little channel here.
Okay.
Enjoy that.
Oh gosh.
Eichhornchen.
Close.
Eichhornchen?
It's Eichhörnchen.
Eichhörnchen?
Eichhornchen.
Eichhörnchen.
It's like an acorn. It's like acorn is in the name. That's great.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Good stuff. I am not going to be able to pronounce this name in the same way that I couldn't pronounce that German word. But they're asking half-life of a single neutron. I don't know, I went to film school, but yeah, haha.
I like that one.
Let's see. I thought you would. Let's see here. I think we're good on Neutron and Rocket Lab questions. Flawed Perspective is saying chompers are from Galaxy Quest, right near the end. Haha, that's like the hallway they had to go through with the crazy. Adrian has no idea what we're talking about.
I was gonna say, Adrian,
Quest.
You remember that, right?
It's a classic.
Yeah, totally.
Movie that Adrian has. It's one of his favorites. What's your favorite part of Galaxy Quest, Adrian?
Where they go into the galaxy to fulfill the quest. I have no idea that movie exists.
I can't. I can't even.
Back.
I think you did. All right. Do want to thank everyone that's coming out for support and doing the super chats and doing the memberships. We've got Westy the Third. Fulfill the quest. Thank you, Westy, for gifting a Red Team membership. We've got Fire Alarm Man gifting a Red Team membership. We've got Jim Cavett gifting a Red Team membership. We've got Randy, $5 super chat. Thank you, Randy, for the pun fund.
I love it.
Austin Skirvin says, when do you think the first spin prime static fire happens for Booster 9? Now, I know I said keep things to the order that we're going in, but it's a super chat, so I mean, we could see engine testing as early as this week. Maybe I'm just being stupidly optimistic, but hopefully soon? Does anyone have any guesses?
Next week at
Besides
earliest,
soon
I
TM?
guess.
Ralph Chilton says Team Chaos. Thanks for the super chat there, buddy. Rankley says it's Pun Day. Thank you for the tip.
Oh,
Don't forget, if you don't want to super chat through YouTube or what have you, you can go to tips.nasaspaceflight.com and support us that way. And the money goes directly to us. Musical Wolves, thank you for the support. They say, did Scrubtober arrive already? No, we're not even gonna. And it would be Scrubtember probably.
we've had a Scrubtember as well before. I think it was 2020 that had it pretty bad.
I think we even had a Scrubvember with SLS. No, maybe that was something else. Either way.
Well, those
I
scrubbed in
digress.
August, end of August, early September were those scrubs, but
Got it. Aaron Pickering, thanks for the support. They say to the pun fun. Puns are always on topic. You got quite a pun following, Sawyer.
I know, I love it. I'm a little shocked at how much people actually like it, and needless to say, these are all going in the pun bank for rainy pun day.
Methane Man, thank you for gifting 10 Red Team memberships. I'm trying not to. I've already laughed enough on this one. Gifting 10 Red Team memberships. Thank you, Methane Man. If you guys don't know, we have the membership program. All kinds of cool perks in there at various levels of support. You get various different perks. There's behind-the-scenes videos and photos. There's high-resolution photos. There's members-only streams. There's all kinds of cool stuff. So check out the membership program, and thank you to Methane Man for gifting 10 Red Team memberships, because now that's 10 people that will have access to all of that cool stuff who might not otherwise have had access to it. So if you got a membership from Methane Man, be sure to thank him. Sanity Bites, is that like a cookie, like with like antidepressants in it or something? Like new Sanity Bites.
Any cookie is a sanity bite, because
that's true.
Sanity.
It's
that's
obvious
just a fact.
It's obvious none of us have had those today.
Yeah, right. They say chompers definitely remind me of James Bond film. Yeah, what was that? Moonraker?
Moonraker, yeah.
Yes.
Which with their very accurate shuttle representation too.
It's a movie Adrian has seen. Wow, I think we all get like $5 for that or something.
No.
Apocalypse Cow gifting 10 Red Team memberships. Once again, thank you so much, Apocalypse Cow and Methane Man and everyone who's doing the gifted memberships. We really, really appreciate that, because the membership program is like integral to what we do. And last up here, we have Alan C. gifting 5 Red Team memberships. Thank you also, Alan. If you got a gifted membership, thank the person that gifted it to you. That's just the right thing to do. All right. Let's move right along. Sawyer, tell us about Starliner updates from Boeing. This one kind of hurts a little bit, huh?
Yeah, tell me about it. For those who have forgotten, there were actually 2 crew vehicles that were contracted as part of the commercial crew program with NASA. They were SpaceX, obviously with Crew Dragon, and Boeing with Starliner. Crew Dragon is getting ready for the 7th crew flight to the ISS, at least Crew 7 fully operational, and Starliner has still yet to deliver any astronauts to the ISS after a struggle with their first uncrewed attempt and then a finally successful docking on their second flight test. Boeing is now reporting that so far the Starliner development program has lost them, just in the second quarter of this year, $257 million, which, when you put all of that together, is a reported loss of $1.5 billion. Now, it is important to note that, yes, they did get money from taxpayers basically here in the US, a set amount though. So once they hit that $5 billion spent, anything else over that amount has to come out of their own pocket. So that $1.5 billion loss is a loss from Boeing, not from taxpayer dollars. Although, again, the vehicle that has come out of that taxpayer money is still not flying yet, and as of right now, is delayed indefinitely. And that comes with the recent issues that have been reported with the vehicle, which included some concerns about the strength of the parachute system that would hopefully help bring the crew back safely, as well as some tape that was used inside the vehicle that's meant to prevent fires, which they've determined under certain conditions can become flammable. So when that next flight will be with crew to the ISS is to be determined.
Yeah, that tape issue really kind of hurt in particular because it's like, really? You sure about that? You sure about that? You're gonna use that tape? Ugh. But like you said, it's the loss is on Boeing's side, so it's not like that's all taxpayer money getting flushed down the toilet. But at the same time, it's as a taxpayer, it's frustrating. You gotta wonder, like, next time something comes up in the aerospace or space world for Boeing to bid on, do you think they're gonna have any kind of like hesitance to bid on a spacecraft or a space station or something, knowing what they've had to go through at this point, or you think they'll try and bid regardless?
I mean, I think they're going to bid anyway because Boeing has played such a role in the space program with NASA as is. I mean, again, they've got their role as well with Orion and SLS. So I think they're still going to bid. I don't know if that's going to, affect their odds of being selected. And also, Jack, they wouldn't be flushing it down the toilet. They would be flushing it into the valves that, remember, had a leak as well at one point for Starliner
Right.
in the
Yes.
Florida humidity.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. I was going to say vacuuming it down the toilet because, space toilets, but anyways, I digress. Let me see if I have any questions here. Oh, small update. Stephen Kingsley is saying the James Bond movie was You Only Live Twice. Spectre's
Or so
rocket
they
had
say.
chompers stealing... Wow. Okay, so we got the movie wrong. I feel like I always get the movie wrong. I think it's Moonraker, and it's never Moonraker. Stephen
No,
Kingsley says
Moonraker's the
Moonraker
shuttle
was...
one.
Yeah, Moonraker was space shuttles.
Oh.
Thank you. Let's see here. Looking for some more questions.
I have one question I could ask you two if you're interested.
Go.
It's more a discussion topic. I would like to start with this is if you're NASA at this position and you see a program that has now showed several floors over the last few years, at what point as NASA you're not comfortable anymore with this program and just pull the plug and don't put astronauts to the ISS on Starliner anymore? Like, what do you think? Is there a point where they should do that, or are they like in the situation where they just want to follow through and just make this work at this point? But I'm just curious about your both opinion about that, because it's a tough discussion that is happening. Like, people are discussing, should Starliner even be used anymore?
Sorry, you want to go first?
Sure. I mean, I say they go with it, and here's the main reason. And this has to do with everything in terms of both the COTS program with the commercial cargo and with the commercial crew program. I feel like the main reason that you have these multiple companies is for redundancy. If something were to happen to one of them, you still have another. With commercial cargo, when Orb 3 happened and you had an issue with not being able to get supplies up with Cygnus, you had SpaceX, ignoring the whole CRS-7 thing. You've got those backups. Same thing with this. You've got SpaceX's crew vehicle and the Starliner crew vehicle. And that, if we didn't have that redundancy, we wouldn't be sending people to the ISS right now on commercial vehicles. You've got SpaceX picking up the slack, for lack of a better way to describe it. But it's that if something were to happen that grounded the Crew Dragon for a bit, and you eventually get Starliner up and running, you still have access to the space station without having to rely on the Russians.
Yeah. I mean, I basically would just echo everything you just said, is we need redundancy, and I don't think we're at the point where NASA would pull the plug on Starliner. I think for them to get to that point, it would have to be like something I don't even want to talk or think about. It would have to be really, really, really bad. Put it that way. But
I mean, if it takes until the ISS is deorbited, then yeah.
Yeah, right.
That would be one of the main reasons.
We do have a question here from, or it's really more of a statement from Jerry saying, I still can't understand how they messed up this bad on Starliner. You know, I don't work at Boeing, obviously. I don't have really any friends that work at Boeing. It's not like insider info or anything, but I have seen multiple different aerospace news outlets like Aviation Week or The Drive, other places talking about how at one point there was a buyout of Boeing from, I think it was McDonnell Douglas, and it was a merger, but really what happened was sort of Boeing's leadership was decapitated and McDonnell Douglas came in and it was all their leadership, and that was sort of the start of a brain drain because previously, and this is me reciting a thing from memory, I could be wildly incorrect, so take it with a grain of salt, but essentially you went from having leadership that was proficient in engineering and had come up through the ranks to having leadership that were more concerned with, you know, stockholders and money and things of that nature. And, you know, when you clutter up an organization with middle management and you lose that institutional engineering knowledge, nothing good is going to come from that. And I think that has been borne out in multiple ways, in multiple areas at Boeing, not just Starliner. I mean, look at the 737 MAX. Look at even just how long SLS took to be ready. So I don't know. I don't want to, you know, belabor the point too much, but there is a reason that SpaceX is able to move fast and break things, and it's because by design they are able to move fast and break things. And, you know, part of that is also when you're a company like Boeing and you are the entrenched leader, you are operating from a position of, it's easier to say no to things, and it's easier to play it safe because you don't want to look bad. But funnily enough, that can end up making you look bad. I think really one of the understated things to how SpaceX is able to operate is they are not afraid to look quote unquote bad or make a mistake or break a ship or, you know, do all kinds of things that other companies would probably shy away from. And part of that is I think Elon is an absolute master of PR and setting expectations and owning something when it doesn't go right, and, you know, properly explaining to the public like, yeah, this didn't go right, but oh well, we'll build another one and we'll keep going. Like, so it's a dichotomy, and they're very different companies, obviously. But yeah, I also, even given everything I just said, still can't understand how they managed to flub so bad on Starliner.
Yeah, I think
go ahead.
It's one of the worst aged things in spaceflight because you have a lot of articles when the initial assignment of this contract came out that basically portrayed Boeing as the incumbent and the small SpaceX as the company that tries to dethrone them. And you now have a situation where SpaceX is probably, I mean, the Dragon program is insanely successful. It's but it had its problems in the development. We had a capsule explode. We had problems in the development of the Dragon capsule, but SpaceX is probably one of the best companies in the world in recovering from mistakes and fixing things fast. It's always the same with SpaceX, because when something goes wrong with SpaceX, everybody initially panics. And then everybody says, oh, this will take years. And you always notice the people that have been stuck around with SpaceX a bit longer, because they are like, wait a second. We'll just wait 2 more weeks, and suddenly SpaceX will find an easy fix that cuts the time that is expected. They're just very good at fixing things, which right now is an ability that Boeing, I think, is not demonstrating. Having issues on this path is normal, but they are basically going from issue from issue to issue to issue and snowballing down these issues, and that's a problem. They're not really recovering from the issues they're having. It just piles up, and they're getting more and more.
Yeah, I feel like this whole parachute thing, for example, I feel like we've heard about that for quite a while. It's not anything new, at least to me. I don't know if maybe I just heard whispers like years ago or what have you, but it seems like it's nothing new. Especially that one hurts because SpaceX this whole entire time has been saying, take our parachute data. We have parachute data. Take it. So, anyways, I think with that, we will move on unless anybody has any final thoughts here.
I do have one final thought, and that is I see people in chat saying, well, yeah, redundancy only works if, you have a second vehicle that's up and running. And I do get that, but I guess technically the redundancy is already working. And if you're Boeing right now, it's redundant to see.
Why did I let you do that? Oh, and Loki's Chaos is saying Boeing most recently have had issues with the T7 trainer. Yeah, and they've also, if I recall correctly, have had issues with the Pegasus. I think it's the Pegasus. Their new aerial refueling tanker. That's just all kinds of stuff going on over there. But let's not beat the dead horse or whatever. I'm sorry, Crispy. Don't listen.
There's no dead horses here. No dead horses. Don't worry.
Only live horses here. Spike, thank you for the $10 tip. They say, oh, I deleted it. I'm a failure. Well, Spike, thank you for the $10 tip. I'm sorry I accidentally deleted it because I'm stupid. Whatever you said, I'm sure was awesome. At me in chat, and I'll see it pop up. But I'm a failure. Sorry. Sanity Bites. Delicious Sanity Bites. Now with 20% more sanity. Says, you only live twice, James Bond film. Thank you for that, buddy. Josh, thank you for the $5 tip. They say, I was at KSC a few days ago. Thought it was funny that they put the Starliner model right below the Falcon 9 and the Cargo Dragon is off to the side.
I think talking about the Gateway exhibit, yeah.
I've been there recently-ish, but I don't recall that arrangement.
Well, the Gateway exhibit just opened recently. They have a full Falcon 9 first stage hanging from the ceiling. They still have the COTS 2.3 or COTS 2 Plus, whichever you want to call it, old school Cargo Dragon there. And yeah, the models of Starliner.
And we have a $20 super chat from the Texas Bandit. Thank you, Texas Bandit. All right. Let's mosey right along here. And we're going to talk about Falcon Heavy and what SpaceX has been up to. Sawyer, tell us about Falcon Heavy, because you were out there for it, right?
Oh, yeah. Every attempt. So, yeah, while we're talking about being at KSC, Falcon Heavy successfully lifted off Saturday at 11:04 p.m. Eastern Time, 3:04 UTC, carrying the heaviest commercial payload to geostationary transfer orbit, the thing weighing 9.2 plus tons. So something that massive, you need Falcon Heavy to launch it. The original first attempt at the launch a few days earlier was scrubbed at T-minus 1 minute and 5 seconds due to a valve issue, but they went and thankfully everything looked beautiful on Saturday. So that saw the launch of a brand new center core that was expended, and the two side boosters, B-1064 and 1065, successfully came back and landed down at LZ-1 and LZ-2. So for those who don't know, the satellite that was launched, the EchoStar 24/Jupiter 3, whichever you want to call it, is meant to provide 500 gigabits per second of bandwidth to planes, ocean vessels, rural communities, and other hard-to-reach regions in North and South America. So it's kind of similar in speed to SpaceX Starlink, although it's got a lot more latency because it's in geostationary orbit as opposed to low Earth orbit. So an exciting time with Falcon Heavy there, and a beautiful launch, fantastic landing, and the VAV sonic squeal.
Love the sonic squeal. Absolutely love the sonic squeal. It's one of the better things you can experience as a member of the press at KSC. I mean, yeah, seeing a rocket launch from super up close, sure. Sonic squeal. Now that's where it's at.
My favorite is I was telling
That's-
people around me about it, other photographers and people with the press who hadn't seen it before and had never heard that before. So I warned them it was coming, and they were all like, whoa, it shocked them of the noise. It sounds a bit like a bottle rocket, but they had no idea that was a thing. So I was trying to explain to everyone that it has to do with the resonance from the Merlin 1D engines that happens to match the same vibration resonance as the panels on the VAB. And you get that squeal when it's coming from either a launch at Pad 40 or a landing at LZ1 and 2.
So cool. Adrian, were you going to say something?
I was just gonna say that it's incredibly arrogant of you Americans to say, yeah, whatever, just seeing a rocket launch up close and then pointing out the amazingness of a funny sound. That's so American of you.
That's the joke, Adrian. That's the joke.
Yeah, forget the rumble of 27 Merlin 1D engines from 3-ish miles away. Yeah, no, the VAB made a funny sound.
I want to point out, I tried to just out-engine you and were like, well, I saw a rocket with 33 engines launching, but then I was like, well, did I see 33 engines though?
30-ish. You saw some HPU explosion though. That was pretty sweet. I just saw it go into a cloud in like 3 seconds, and that was that. So at least you got to see it. Let's see here. Musical Wolves, thanks for the super chat. They say sonic squirrel or squeal. Squeal.
I mean,
let's see here. Spike says, thanks for all the great videos and recommending When the Heavens Went on Sale. I really enjoyed it. I think that was the one I deleted accidentally. Thank you, Spike. Forge Gamer is saying, when do you think that we'll bring back center core reusability, if ever? Adrian, go first.
I am right now thinking about the whole Falcon Heavy manifest, and I know I've talked with Alex about this before. And if I recall correctly, right now there's not a single mission that even has like a center core. Like, I think there was potentially one, maybe, but it's there he said it's Astrobotic Griffin may have center core recovery, so it's still a bit in the air if we ever see a Falcon Heavy center core. But at this point, I am in the firm belief. I'm not really usually superstitious, but I think the Falcon Heavy center core is just cursed. It cannot be recovered. It's just by the law of the universe impossible.
Like you said, it's still in the air, not back on land or on a barge.
Right. Let's see here. Mary Old Elf is saying, we understand using TTEB to start the Merlins at launch. That's triethyl alumina triethyl borane. That's the green flash that you get at ignition of Falcon 9 launches. It's is it hypergolic, pyrophoric? It's a really spicy compound that they use to start up Merlins.
It's kaboomy.
But it's kaboomy, to use a technical term. I mean, we try to keep things, dumbed down for the lay people here, but, kaboomy, I don't know if hopefully you guys can follow that one. Anyways, Mary Old Elf is asking, how do they restart the Merlins for entry and landing? They have a reserve of TTEB on the vehicle itself, right? And gosh, what awesome footage of these two boosters.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I'm just going to stare at that for a second, sorry.
Yeah, I only recently got to actually watch the live stream of it. You see it in person, but then you get to see the cool shots that they get with the tracking cameras, both ours and SpaceX's. But to answer your question, it is the reserved TTEB that ignites it. In fact, when you see both boosters reignite just ahead of landing, you see that same green flash that you see at launch because that's the TTEB.
Super cool. Good stuff there. Blake Alexander gifting 10 Red Team memberships. Thank you, Blake. Another one of those names we see pop up all the time. Austin Skirvin, thank you so much. They say Sonic Squirrel for Adrian. I think they wanted you to say it, Adrian.
We also had no. I will not say it. I will say that we had more Falcon Heavy news.
We do,
go
yeah.
on.
So you got it?
Okay, you got it.
Oh, I was going to say, we were actually talking about this a bit on the live stream of the launch about some potential larger payloads launching on Falcon Heavy, of which you would need a larger fairing. And we have seen the first pictures of the new extended fairing in a tweet from NASA that was taking a look at the testing of the shielding effectiveness. So basically, that's testing to make sure that any radio frequencies from outside can't get inside and mess with payloads and things like that. That will eventually be used for things like Space Force missions and other private missions. Can be helpful in terms of launching parts to Lunar Gateway. So it's a big important factor of getting that larger payload fairing up and running.
I want to
that
complain
one
about this.
was a little bit.
Oh.
Yeah, no, go. I was about to complain, but you can complain. I complain enough. Go ahead.
Okay. Then I think we are complaining about the same thing because I'm not sure if we can show that picture, but they managed to tweet a picture that is the only possible angle where you cannot basically understand that this is an extended fairing. This is like the only angle if they could have shown where you're like, yeah, that's a Falcon Heavy fairing. If you show an extended longer fairing, you should have shown it from the side. Please. Why this angle?
Maybe they had a reason for it. Yeah, maybe there's some kind of ITAR thing. Maybe there's something on the side they don't want to show. I don't know. But from a photographic perspective, this is just... I don't want to be too mean. Not good. Because like you said, Adrian, the entire tweet is like, look, we're testing the longer fairing. Does it look longer to anybody? No, it looks exactly like any other fairing. So yeah, that was a little bit frustrating. But I did find that amazing because I feel like for one of the Falcon Heavy attempts, we got a super chat question that was like, any news on the longer fairing? And our answer was, no, we haven't heard anything about it in a while, but it's still coming because they have some missions that need it, but we don't know what the deal is. And then within the next couple days, we got this tweet, which, definitely thankful for the information, definitely thankful for the update and to know that it's being worked on. Not the best photo. All right. Moving right along, Falcon Heavy, what do we think? Is it living up to expectations in terms of cadence, in terms of launch rate? I know there was that 3-year gap there where they didn't have any Falcon Heavy launches, but it feels like this year with 3 having launched so far is kind of insane. Imagine 3 Delta Heavies launching in a year. I don't know, Sawyer, what do you think?
You're funny. 3 Delta, 4 Heavies in a year. I mean, it started off slow, but again, it's a whole supply and demand thing. Most of the delays that we've seen from Falcon Heavy have nothing to do with the rocket, but the readiness of the payloads. So I don't think a majority of it is the fault of the vehicle. I think it's still living up to what it's supposed to do. It's able to launch some of these crazy heavy payloads, like this past mission, the heaviest commercial satellite launched. You need something like a Falcon Heavy. So I think it's doing its job. Is it as many as we expected per year? Definitely not. Does the turnaround rate seem like it's taking a little longer than, say, Falcon 9 over at Pad 40? Absolutely. But it's serving its purpose, and when the satellites are ready, 9 times out of 10, it seems like the rocket's ready.
Right. Yeah, very good point. We did have a question. I think I might have missed it here. Yeah, Von Predator is asking, what was the highest cadence for Delta Heavy? I don't think they ever launched 2 in the same calendar year. Like, first one was 2004, second was 2007, third was 2009, fourth was 2010, fifth was 2011, sixth was 2012, seventh was 2013, 2014, 2016, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, and 2023. So we've never had
impressive
2
off the
Delta
top of
4
your head.
Heavies. I'm definitely not reading Wikipedia. But yeah, we've never had 2 Delta 4 Heavies in the same calendar year. I want to be explicit about that calendar year.
And also,
is
I
this
think
Space
it's-
Coast Live? What's going on here?
It is. I
Something
also think it's
happening.
worth noting, by the way, that there's the Delta 4 Heavy, and while they're now retired, there was also the regular Delta 4, the Delta 4 Medium, the Delta 4 Medium 4 2+, all of those. So it's not like there wasn't multiple Delta 4 launches in a year. We're just talking specifically about the Heavy.
Right. Thank you for that, Sawyer. Always definitely want to be precise with our complaining.
Precisely.
Oh, look, we have a bird. Is someone zooming in on the bird? What is going on
Bird.
Space
Hello,
Coast
bird.
Live? I guess just read the instructions is leaving, but don't worry about that. Look, a pelican. Hi, pelican.
Yeah.
Please don't poop on
Who cares
air.
about this rocket drone ship and everything?
That's-
we don't need that. There's a pelican.
That's not
Chris
Grackle,
B-
right?
Chris B. No, it's
that's
not a
Hugo.
grackle. Yeah, Chris B. in our back channel says that's Hugo. Has Space Coast Live named a specific pelican? I need to hang out there more.
Yeah, he
He's
kind of
like
hangs
Gary,
out there. Oh yeah.
but fatter and prefers fish. It's a Nightbot command. Okay, got it. Thank you, Chris B.
Yeah, and now
Um,
Jack, I don't know why, but you go try seeing if that command works.
no, I'm
Get
good.
it? Get it?
Yeah.
Hugo.
I
try,
got it.
Hugo try.
Yeah, no,
It's even funnier when you
did get
explain it.
It's the best part of the joke, is the explaining the joke part. Cool.
I'm really having a rough day over here with this jokes going downhill. Also with the Delta for Heavy Slender, I heard that. Did Delta for Heavy ever launch 3 times? I heard that. I noted that.
Yeah,
it's an
we love
amazing
Delta
rocket.
4 Heavy here. It's a beautiful rocket. It's orange.
Nail that tone.
Yeah. Did Sawyer dying? I think Sawyer
No,
was
I was
dying.
pointing to my Delta 4 Heavy model.
Oh, nice. You got some cool models, buddy.
Thank you. There it is.
Uh,
yeah.
Deep
Speaking
into
of-
Delta for Heavy right now.
Speaking of Delta 4 Heavy, really quickly, Mike Tung is asking, what does the exclamation "It's orange" mean? And is it on a t-shirt? It's not on a t-shirt, though maybe it should be. That from our intro is from, I think, Apollo 17.
Correct.
It's what is it? Gene Cernan and
that
oh,
was
man, I
Harrison
forgot the other.
Schmitt that says that.
Okay, thank you. It's
Or
Harrison
that-
Schmidt talking. It's Harrison
sorry, no, it's
Schmidt
the other way
talking to Gene
around.
Cernan.
Yeah, because you've got it's orange, and then he says, "Put it in the mix bag, Gino." So
Yeah. So yeah, they're on the moon. They're looking at rocks. They scrape the surface of the moon where it's just that gray dull color, and there is orange material underneath the gray. And so that exclamation, "It's orange," is because they were genuinely excited and giddy at finding color in that barren lunar landscape.
yeah,
I
especially
wanna-
because Harrison Schmitt was the first geologist, and unfortunately right now only, to land on the moon. So Apollo 17 was very heavily invested in trying to find these different types of rocks on the lunar surface. And I mean, it's orange.
Right? Because that was their
Pointing
last
out-
chance.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
Since you said why is it's orange not a shirt, I now wonder. We know a lot of people, that it's sometimes very hard with finding good orange T-shirts. So I think we should just put the text "It's orange" in white letters on a black shirt. I kind of feel like it would be the most funny and amazing shirt. Just a shirt
I hate it.
screaming "It's
No.
orange" and it's black.
But speaking of t-shirts, we do have all kinds of awesome t-shirts, and we have metal prints. In fact, I do believe that tomorrow is your last chance to get some of our metal prints. We're not stopping doing metal prints entirely. We're just trying to sort of clear out the inventory so that we can put more pictures in. I mean, we're about to have another full stack at Starbase, and you better believe we're going to have a whole bunch of awesome new imagery. But if you want some now historic imagery, it's your last chance. I think tomorrow is the day that it's your last chance. Right, Adrian?
That's correct. After tomorrow, they're gone.
Yep. And, these are absolutely beautiful images, and they're printed directly on a piece of metal. So you don't need to faff about with a frame or anything like that. They look great. They're printed on metal. They come with all you need to hang right in the box so that you can just pop them right on your right on your wall. Don't have, like I said, you don't have to mess with a frame or anything like that. So super duper cool that we're doing these. And the best part is when you purchase one of these metal prints, a portion of the sale goes to the photographer who shot the image. So you're not only supporting NASA spaceflight, but you're supporting the photographer whose image you decided to grace your walls with. So last chance. I don't want to get any DMs from anybody that's like, "Oh, I missed the thing I did. Can you put it back in?" No, it was your last chance. I'm sorry. It's just that was it. It's over. So yeah, that's that. We still got some Starship plushies. We've got some T-shirts and other stuff. So check out the store. We really appreciate all of the support. All right, back to the discussion though. It's orange. The notional It's Orange T-shirt should just be an orange shirt with orange text that says it's orange.
It's just an orange shirt. That's just an orange shirt.
Yes, you know why? Because it's orange.
Orange.
All right, I'm sorry. I genuinely apologize. Let's move on. Mike99 GSR, thank you for the support. They say, I'm in the Space Coast this week with wife and daughter. Where should we go see Falcon 9 on the 3rd? Love you guys. Keep it up. Sawyer, this one's for you, bud. Cars Park? Question mark? Didn't mean to rhyme.
I think so. I mean, Cars Park is a great spot. It's $5 per car to get in. It's a little bit south. It's one of the few places where you do have a direct view of the rocket from launch all the way up. Other spots is anywhere along US 1 in Titusville. There's also a great spot right near the Sands Museum by the Space Force base. There's some bleachers there that also have great views of the launch if you prefer something that's a lot less costly. So those would be my suggestions. And I'm trying to remember what time of day that launch is. Does anyone know off the top of their head or by quickly going to next spaceflight for me?
Galaxy 37 is at night.
Oh, okay. Because for day launches,
close to midnight.
After midnight, we're gonna let it all hang out. Okay. Otherwise,
11:15 p.m. Central, 12:15 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, so those would be my suggestions then, because otherwise everything else is for daylight, you've got the option of like Playa Linda Beach. So yeah, that would be my suggestion then, is Cars Park for sure, if not US 1 or right near the Sands History Museum by Space Force.
Adrian, are you fading in and out of existence? You went blurry for a second there.
Yeah, I needed to fix the reality for a moment because reality was fading me out. So I fixed reality.
You're doing good now, though.
There goes gravity. Up there goes sanity.
Wow. All right. T-Garden, thank you for the support. They say, speaking of landings and redundancy, thinking back to SN8 through 10, any hints, leaks, or ideas for landing redundancies on future starships? Can you... Aww.
I dig.
It's orange.
It is orange.
Aw, cats are the best.
Oh,
we got full screen cat action.
Yeah, we need to get another super down there for Jake.
Aw, I love it.
Sorry, totally disrupted whatever we were talking about there.
Yeah, no, cat. all sensible discussion out the window. It's an orange cat, one orange brain cell, which is an awesome subreddit if you don't know about that one. So yeah, I don't know. Can they really have redundancy for landing with Starship? I don't think so. You can't. It's like they can have a separate set of chopsticks in case it misses the first set of chopsticks. This is me doing chopsticks. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, they're just gonna have to be really confident that they can do it by the time they try and do it.
I mean, they want to build more towers. More towers, not only more better, but also more redundancy. So, I mean, the problem is, of course, if you fail a landing, you also want to investigate why you failed the landing, and you don't want to land again and then crash something into your second tower. That would be
Right.
a bad idea, and don't like you want to find the root cause before damaging your whole infrastructure.
Right. I'm just so distracted by the cat, and I'm jealous. Mostly, I'm jealous.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
I sometimes think I have a dog in a cat's body. He's very affectionate.
Good
Yes.
deal. Cool. Well, speaking of Starship and redundancy, how about we talk about Starship a little bit? We promised it at the beginning of the episode, so let's jump right into it. I was out there earlier today, and, well, I saw something pretty cool. So we learned recently that SpaceX is going to be doing hot staging with Starship, which basically means you fire the ship's engines while the booster's engines are still firing. Basically, with a lot of U.S. rockets, most rockets, I think, the booster will cut its engines off, start to separate and fall away, and then the second stage will fire its engines and continue on to orbit. But hot staging means that you don't do that, and you fire the second stage's engines while at least a portion of the first stage engines are still firing. So that is what we've seen. Like, it looked like a Pathfinder, maybe. We weren't certain it was the actual article itself, but yeah, here you can see the label. It says dev, which would be short for development, booster 11 forward, retain, hot stage load head, which is pretty neat. So they had lifted up the hot staging ring on top of this booster forward section and looked like they were doing some fit checks or just like getting it ready to move wherever they're going to take it to test. I assume Massey's. That would be my guess, just because that's where they've been testing everything lately, and they've got sort of the can crusher hardware there. So yeah, just right off the bat, a new piece of hardware in Starbase that is kind of what we've been waiting to see. I posted it on Twitter, and somebody was like, "Finally!" I was like, "What? What do you mean finally? We literally just found out that this was going to be a thing. This is not the time. There's times for finally. When Starliner launches crew, finally. Not this though. Anyways, I digress. That was pretty nifty. I don't know if either of you have any thoughts. Adrian first, if so.
Yes, I have thoughts. First off, it's cool to see this ring now on a test structure. I think you also said there's a ring close to it, like a normal ring, right?
Yeah, so that I didn't have time to get a photo of because I was hauling butt back to where I am now so that I could be on NSF Live. But after this, I'm actually going to head back out there, and hopefully it's in the same place. But there will be another ring that's part of this whole assembly that goes on top of this. That is basically a simulation of the bottom ring on a ship. So if you think about it, they're making some sort of demented steel Oreo, and there's a booster. There's a booster bottom cookie. There's the hot stage ring cream filling, and there's the ship bottom ring top cookie. I don't know why I explained it like that, but we're not sponsored by Nabisco. I just am hungry, apparently.
But
Adrian, do
if
you guys
twist
even
it
have
apart and
Oreos?
just lick the frosting on the inside, though, how's
You're gonna
I
cut
guess
your
that's
tongue.
technically
You're
the
gonna
hot
cut your
staging?
tongue. Wow.
Just ask if
Adrian,
we in
do
Europe
you-
have Oreos?
Yeah.
Yes, we
Oreos,
have
yeah.
Oreos. We have like
Well, you
one
don't-
of the
You
biggest
don't have big
cookie
Big
bread.
Red though.
Yeah, we don't have Big Red.
Mm.
Like, okay, just a quick explainer because this is a thing that is going on. While I was in Texas, I got. We are not sponsored, by the way. This is just me talking about this. I just got kind of addicted to this drink, and you cannot get it in Germany. So since then, when Jack is in Texas, he has sometimes made me aware that he has Big Red, and I'm very jealous.
You can get me
Admittedly,
back.
I never
Just send me,
tried it
like,
till I never tried it till I went
ahead.
to Texas either, down in McGregor, and it's delicious.
It's like red cream soda. I don't know how else to describe it. Anyways, I don't know. I am turning everything into food chat. Sorry. Let's see here. Ooh, Brondo. It's got what plants crave. Says treats for Jake. Thank you for the $10
Aw.
tip there, Brondo.
I'll make sure to
Brondo
give him
also
extra
has what-
after the stream.
Nice. Rondo also has what Jake craves. Musical Wolves, thank you for the support. They say if it's too hot, can the public ask SpaceX to activate another water test? That would be nice.
What a transition,
in-
though, Jack. Because
To
we
the
had a
deluge
water
test that happened?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Sorry, I have to use this. I cannot. Like,
No,
if
go
the
ahead.
segue
Go.
is.
No, you're
If
no,
the
take
segue
it.
is just here.
No, I'm not going to read super chats. Fine. We don't have to tell people we're thankful for their support. Go ahead. Tell them the actual news that they came here
But
for.
the people also want to hear news, Jack. So I'm
Right.
sorry.
Go ahead.
We had a full-scale test of the Deluge system last week, which I hope we can bring up without sound, because otherwise, people will not be able to hear me anymore. But we saw the full Deluge system in test. There you can see it. It looks magnificent. So this Deluge system will hopefully answer the future question, will there be any more rock tornadoes in South Texas? With no. That's at least the hope of SpaceX. And we can see the tank farm in the background going completely wild at the Deluge system tank farm. And this system will hopefully suppress the power of 33 Raptor engines, or hopefully close to 33 Raptor engines, based on how the launch goes, at launch, and stop concrete from flying.
Yeah, that's the hope, anyways, right?
Look at.
And we
By the way,
have-
this shot.
Yeah, it's
So good.
kind of mind blowing, huh? It's beautiful.
It's like you're entering a wormhole.
Really, yeah, it's like that old TV show from the 90s, Sliders or whatever, or like, yeah, it's really cool looking, and it kind of gives me confidence that hopefully for Flight 2 and beyond, things will be less rock tornado-y, concrete stormy, whatever you want to call it. Hopefully this whole system works. That's what we all want to see. Is we want to see the second flight work, and we want to see the third flight soon after that. We want to see them to start firing starships off like nobody's business. So fingers crossed. And it's definitely an exciting thing to see up close in person. I was like just shy of the beach looking at it. And there was a bunch of people out there because a rare thing that we got ahead of this test was a tweet from SpaceX saying that they were going to do this test. So that was nice because, there was like people out there with their families and stuff. Like it wasn't all just, guys with beards and cameras. There was a significant amount of people out there, including employees, who were all just very excited to see it happen. And that was really nifty. It was a cool moment. Good deal. Wow.
Yeah.
Bideford.
Wow.
Thank you so much with a $50 super chat. They say, now I will donate. Go Deluge. So what damage happened underneath the OLM? Give me a pun, Sawyer.
Oh gosh.
I'm not sure what they're...
Okay, I mean, while we're talking about, you know the song, Starships Are Meant to Fly, people forget that there's another verse that goes, concrete's not meant to fly.
All right, I'll take it. I'll buy that for $1.
You paid money for this. You paid money for this. I just want to point this out.
Hey,
all
we're
right,
not gonna...
fine.
We're not
I
gonna...
mean,
Here we go. Here's another one.
When it comes to, I guess SpaceX is entering the Olympics because you've got the downhill skiing, de snowboarding, and now Deluge.
All right. Thank you so much, Bide, for the super chat.
Wow, that silence is
That feel good? Did that feel great?
I don't know if great's the word. I feel dirty now.
Well, you need the deluge. Just go stand under the upside down shower head, and you'll be rinsed clean, as you can see. Should point
Apparently,
out
I just
the
used up
nifty
3 pun tokens just from that. So
Yeah, that sounds about right. As you can see,
The
the
silence was so loud.
it was quite loud, but that kind of made it better, right? I enjoyed it.
actually, yes, it definitely added to it.
Thank you. It's teamwork here. You know, NASA spaceflight is nothing if not a massive team. Okay, wait, look at this. As the water starts spraying, you can see it comes out of the center, and you can see there's rings around the outside that sort of mirror the 20 outer engines. I just thought that was kind of nifty, the way that they laid out the holes in that plate. I don't know what the thinking there is or what the methodology is that required they did that, but either way, it's really neat to see in those first few moments there. Check it out.
There you can see them.
I think
You can see basically the outer ring of engines. You can see them completely.
Yeah,
and I think what's
Yeah,
also
right there.
interesting is that even though it is around the outer engines, the way that it sprays outward and sideways. I know there was concerns of what if the water gets into the engine bells of the Raptors. I think this test proves that the angle that it goes at protects the engines.
Yep. Yeah, it makes sense. You know, it's not. I mean, that was something I was worried about for sure. I was like, but how are they going to do a full scale test if they have a booster on the OLM? And the answer is one, water goes sideways, and two, they had the dance floor raised up so that it was sort of like a shield, an additional shield, should there be any errant water spraying. Let's see here. Indolus, thank you for the support. They say, is there a percent with how many of all Falcons have had delayed launches? Like airlines are measured by the percentage of on-time departures. That's an Alex question. So, Alex, if you're in our back channel,
I
just
as a
type
person that
answers.
likes to collect data, I would like to first start with, can we define the data set here? Because at what point does a delay actually count as a delay? Like, if, for example, with the Starlink 6-8 mission that is coming up, we had at some point communicated a launch time, or like a launch window. Now it's no longer. Is that already a delay? It's like, when are we switching from it's just moving windows to it's a delay?
Yeah,
Right,
I
even
want a
the
data
question.
set here.
Even the Falcon Heavy.
We have a. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to say, even with the Falcon Heavy, it didn't go the first day it scrubbed. They had talked about, all right, we'll go Thursday instead, but they technically never tried on Thursday and went for Friday. So would that count as a second delay going by that middle date?
Yeah. And we have breaking information here from Alex on our back channel. He says he has no frickin' idea. That's why I was laughing a minute ago. Cool. So so much happened in Starbase this week. We also saw a full-scale cryo proof on the Booster 9 on the orbital launch mount last Sunday, a week ago today. So that was super cool to see. Both tanks were filled. Probably a safe bet that the methane tank was full of nitrogen and the oxygen tank was full of oxygen. There was no sort of overpressure warning or evacuation of the village or anything like that. So that's what we presume we saw there. And you can see in this time lapse, like, they got the entire booster good and frosty. And they held it that way for quite a while, right, Adrian?
Yeah, it was a very sustained test. They really like completely loaded it. It was kind of close to the pictures we got, for example, on the wet dress rehearsal of Booster 7 and Ship 24. that was also like full load. Also, I want to point out that thanks for SpaceX to calling it a propellant load test, which once again sparked everybody saying, "Oh, it has to be methane." Like there was no exclusion zone for this, like established, no warning, anything. If this was methane, that would have been a funky test. So it's probably that's the reason we don't think it was methane. It's nitrogen because the village was not evacuated. And usually you don't load about 3,000 tons of methane into a vehicle if you don't evacuate nearby personnel. That's just a FYI. Yeah, but yeah, cool test, sustained test. There we can see it's rising and getting full.
Yeah, it seemed like they just filled the whole entire thing and then let it sit there for, I want to say, a couple hours. I could be misremembering. Either way, it was quite a while. It wasn't like they fueled it, detanked it right away. There was an extended hold in that process, which, whatever data that they were gathering, hopefully they liked what they saw. But yeah, pretty nifty.
In fact, I would go as to say that test was very cool.
Yeah, thank you, Sawyer.
You're welcome.
And we had a SpaceX tweet. They called it a propellant load test, which, like, not gonna lie, kind of bothered me a little bit. Like, it's not propellants if one of those is nitrogen. And this wording led people to speculate that it was not nitrogen, that it was in fact methane. But
it got even worse because they said the same about Booster 10, and there's no way that they would have loaded methane at Massey's with just a like very small roadblock at the like. This is obviously not methane. You know when they load methane. We saw it when the wet dress rehearsal happened. They evacuated because like they cleared the area pretty substantially because 3,000 tons of methane. Yes, it's in theory a fireless test, but you still have 3,000 tons or so of methane and a lot of oxygen next to it in the perfect mix ratio. One spark, and you're gonna have a fun time. So there's no way.
It's definitely a bad time.
Yeah. I mean, they've evacuated, so it would have been a fun time, you know, because they evacuated and they made sure that nobody was there. So
I think I turned into Sawyer for a second there.
You just went through every single asset that we have. You became all of NSF at once.
Yeah.
I am now become assets, just displayer of NSF. I don't know. You get the joke.
Yeah.
That's from the Barbie movie, right?
That's from Barbie.
In contrast to the Ken song that is going around, that is actually sung in the movie Oppenheimer.
Right. Thank you. Alex, you can't be typing stuff like that in the back channel, man. I'm live on air and I'm gonna read that. I can't handle that. And
Secrets of NSF. Yeah, you'll never get to see what that was.
Right. So just one quick mention on the whole tweet that said propellant load test. I'll give it a pass just because there's probably a difference in procedure when you're doing a proof test where you're testing the pressure integrity of a vehicle versus when you're trying intentionally to simulate the loading of propellants in the same manner that you would in the flow of a launch countdown. Like, does that make sense? Those are two different things. Launch countdown flow, pressure test. So if they were loading nitrogen and methane or nitrogen and oxygen, but in the same manner as they would have loaded methane and not the same manner as they would have done a pressure test or a proof test, then this tweet makes a little bit more sense. But we're getting into splitting hairs territory, so I'll just move us right along. That wasn't all that happened in Starbase this week. We also had Ship 28 proof tested at Massey's, and Ship 28 is still there now. We have some road closures coming up. There's one tonight even. So we're wondering if there is going to be a Ship 28 move in our near future. But we'll have to see. There was some Ship QD. Go ahead.
Just pointing out, because you mentioned road closures, there's one. Before people get too excited, it's transport closures for sure.
Yeah, it's
there's,
road. I believe they're road
as-
delays. If I'm being more accurate, they're road delays, not full closures. Thank you for that.
Yeah, we are still waiting on the juicy 12-hour road closures that are hopefully coming very, very soon, because we want to see them, because that means booster 8 engine test. Booster 8? Okay.
Booster 9.
Booster 9 engine test. Yeah, so suddenly Booster 8 is in the mix with engine testing again, out of nowhere with the steel chair, and starting engine.
I heard the announcer voice in my head. Oh, Booster A with a steel chair. Anyways,
On the OLM.
right.
For a second, I thought me and Booster 8 had something in common, but you said steel chair, not wheelchair.
Hey, okay, that one was good. I liked that one,
Thank you.
Sawyer.
Thank
you. But yeah, there's no booster testing closures yet, but we're keeping our eye on the Cameron County website, because that seems like it's going to be pretty imminent, especially with the full pressure test of the Deluge system under our belts. But yeah, and I guess I guess we got to talk about it. Last up, that is really notable this week is SpaceX. They scrapped Ship 15, SN15. I keep calling it Ship 15. They scrapped SN15, which, like, I get it. You need room for the next vehicles in there. Thank you, Sawyer. Yes. Oh, wrong side. Wait, no, dude, no. Put it back. Put it back. All three at once. And go.
Oh, geez, Louise, sorry.
No worries. But yeah, I mean, I that's pretty great. I get that they need room in the rocket garden. But like, why not scrap Booster 4? It's just sitting there, taking up space. Booster 4 didn't even do anything except for look cool. Like, come on. And I know a lot of people were hoping that maybe they were just cutting it up to move it and have it displayed somewhere, but no, it's forward dome section getting moved around all willy-nilly with a forklift. And today, when we were out there photographing the hot staging ring, the common dome section also was just in pieces. So yeah, that's it. That's the end of SN15. But yeah, I don't really know what more to. Oh, it's Jake here to make us happy again.
Yeah, he heard that we were all sad about SN15, so he came to make us all feel a little bit better about it.
Yay. Does anyone have any thoughts on SN15, or do we want to do some grab bag questions?
First off, I'm sad because I think every vehicle that has performed a significant first should have remained and be like I don't know, a Skyline or something. That would be like SN5, SN15, and maybe like the first booster, like these special vehicles. Second, don't you dare touching Hoppy. That's the second part of this. I know SpaceX likes to clean things up, and I'm glad that Hoppy is even in launch site documentation for permits and marked there, because that feels to me like it stays there. Don't touch Starhopper. That's all I want to say.
Yeah, Starhopper at least has a job now as a water tank, so hopefully it would not be scrapped. I really can't see them scrapping Starhopper, but I also couldn't see them scrapping SN15, and they did. But SN15 was kind of just sitting there looking pretty, and at least Starhopper has a job now. But Adrian, I got to take issue with something you said. Don't call it Hoppy. I don't know why everybody does that. It drives me crazy. Obviously, do whatever you want, but show it some dignity, man. It's Starhopper. It's not a child's toy. Anyways, I digress.
I mean,
if
it's
you want to call
barely
it Hoppy,
like 5 years old, right?
Fair.
I see you're not happy about that name, but that's okay.
I'm not.
Are we getting the
Versus
versus screen here? Like,
yeah.
this is a...
Ding, 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 fight.
Oh, wrong direction.
we have entered argument mode. Oh man. That's good stuff. All right, well, yeah, I think that's about the list of things that we saw happen in Starbase. Let's do some Starship questions. How about?
Yes.
Let's see. Looking for some questions. This is my question song. Oh, yeah, I guess Nerd Pizza is saying there's a difference between booster and ship pads at the Rocket Garden. Yeah. But also, who cares? Scrap Booster 4. Nobody likes Booster 4. It's been sitting there for so long that it's turning a weird gold color. Like, it's starting to rust. So, I don't know. And yeah, their stands are different. Move the booster stand and put a ship stand there. How long can it take SpaceX to build another ship stand? We saw them rebuild the giant crater underneath the orbital launch mount in like a month. Like, build another ship stand, put it wherever, and put SN15 on it. Not hard. Why? It belonged in a museum. All right, I'll shut up about it now. That's enough Jack complaining. Let's see here. Forge Gamers asking, did we ask any employees why? No. I tend not to talk to employees while I'm out there. Not because I'm trying to be a jerk or anything, but like, I don't know. I wear orange all the time, and so I feel like security knows who I am because I'm the guy that's wearing orange all the time, and that's intentional because I don't want to feel like I'm sneaking around. And if they want me to not be somewhere, they can be like, hey, orange pants guy, don't be there. But I don't want an employee to like get in trouble for being seen talking to me. I don't know if they would, but I am a member of the media, and I don't want to get anybody in trouble. So I generally don't talk to employees while I'm out there. The most I'll generally do is like I'll give them a nod, or if security comes by, I'll be like, hey, do you want me to move? Am I okay to be here? That kind of thing. And they're always super cool. So, but yeah, no, that's intentional. The orange is part of just wanting to feel visible and not wanting to feel like I'm sneaking around. It's more for me than anything, really. But yeah, anyways. Mike Smith is asking, can we expect the cadence to increase with the testing of boosters and starships? 100%. Yeah, I think we've even seen that cadence increase. Adrian, go. You're chomping at the bit, I see, much like a horse.
Well, I think we would have seen already a much faster pace with the second flight if they would have not completely obliterated and destroyed their launch pad, or like the ground below it. And even then, look at how long the test campaign for Booster 7 took from it on the first time on the pad to being flight ready. That was a long, long period. We are now in a situation where the upper stage was basically tested in, I don't know, like 2 weeks. They just put it there, static fired it, and we're like, okay, cool, done. And it looks like they maybe will do a very short campaign here of, I don't know, a few tests now. Like, the realistic expectation at this point is we might be a handful tests away from the next flight. Like,
yeah,
even less than a handful.
I completely agree. I mean, with Massey's up and running as a test site, we have the next ship and booster pair here at the launch site, as you can see. And we recently had Ship 28 and Booster 10 together at Massey's. They were there for like a day, and they moved Booster 10 back. And now they're probably going to move Ship 28 back now that they're done testing it. And sure enough, as soon as they're ready, they'll move Ship 29 to Massey's and the next booster. And the conveyor belt just keeps going.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to mute myself to burp. But yeah, I think we're seeing that cadence increase. No, I did. You didn't hear it, but I did.
Darn. Just based off of my vote from earlier in the year, we need more.
Right.
Yeah.
No, you're not going to. If I can manage, you're not going to get what you want. But yes, if they are able to get this deluge plate working like they expect, it sure seems like the conveyor belt just churning out vehicles is functioning fast. They're able to test them and not tie up the launch site because Massey's has come online. And so hopefully we'll see several more flights this year. Maybe at least 2 more. I don't know. What do you guys think? I think we could very easily see 2 more flights this year. Presumably Booster 9 and Ship 25 and Booster 10 and Ship 28. Fingers crossed. I don't know. Let's put our reputations on the line. Sawyer, what do you think? Can we see 2 more flights this year?
I think it's all going to depend on how the first, I guess technically the second integrated flight test goes. So the next one that we see, I think that's going to be the real deciding factor. If everything works great, if the steel plate does its job, and there's only minimal work required on the orbital launch mount, then I think it's 1,000,000% possible that we'll see a second one before the end of the year. If it ends up doing more damage than expected, and we see something kind of similar to what we had for the first integrated flight test, then I think maybe it would be early next year instead for the next one.
That makes sense.
I'm-
There
yeah,
is a. It's fight mode. You guys are in fight mode.
You're on, Adrian.
No, okay. I will do my best to voice the same thing you just said because I'm feeling in a very similar way. I think it depends a lot on the Deluge plate because the Deluge plate, of course, decides if they need another 3 months to repair this launch site because they just needed that. They went from April, May, June, July, about 3 months until they could start testing. So if they destroy it again, let's say in a flight, I don't know, September, and we are October, November, December, then it gets getting kind of tight to fly again. But if the launch site is fine, and they only need minor inspections, and they could put the next booster on there, I don't know, a few weeks later, yeah, sure, they could fly, I don't know, September, November. I don't think it will be more than 2, though. I think we'll see, probably if everything goes well, 2 more flights this year. If everything doesn't go well, 1 more flight, at the least. I don't think there's any question at this point as that unless something goes terribly wrong with the static fire campaign. Sorry, I almost burped. Then we will see. Then we will see a launch very soon.
Yeah. Let's see here. Derek is asking, what's the situation with the FCC and FAA launch license for the next flight? I don't think we've gotten any kind of information in that regard. I mean, the last launch license was issued really soon before the actual launch, right? So that's probably something that we will see right before they're ready for IFT2. Go ahead, Adrian.
Yeah, technically, a lot of the paperwork they've done is good for up to 5 flights, although the launch license itself is not. Launch license itself was for that flight, so they need one. Although they are still investigating. That's another part of this. The FAA has not yet, usually if there was an anomaly for a flight, which happened here, it was an anomaly, they would at some point publish an investigation report into why the anomaly happened, if everything of the mitigation was good, yada yada. Unless that has concluded, you usually don't see a return to flight of a vehicle. We don't see that, for example, right now with New Shepard. We have seen that with other vehicles in the past. If they're still being investigated by the FAA because of this anomaly, or in general of a flight mishap, that's usually a grounded vehicle in that time, and they won't issue another launch license until they are fine with it flying.
Good deal. Yeah, Alex on our back channel says FCC license is easy peasy. FAA is a whole different thing.
I think they even have one. I think they even have a FCC license. The FCC license is the funniest thing ever because they get renewed every 6 months of the frequencies, and everybody's like, "Oh, it's a launch site license," and everybody else is like, "Yeah, it's the FCC launch license. Don't care about it."
Yeah, you're talking about the Federal Communications Commission versus the Federal Aviation Administration. Little different. One, you can call up and everything's great because they deal with call frequencies, and the other, you want to fly? Haha, you're funny.
Let's see here. Good question. Kurt Rolf is asking, how similar do you think the current booster is from Booster 7? What are the essential tests you expect before the next launch attempt? They're very different. Different thrust vector controls. It's their electric on Booster 9 versus hydraulic on Booster 7. And a slew of other changes. The chines on Booster 7, 2 of the chines were tiny chines. On Booster 9, they're all big chines. It's like, oops, all big chines. But yeah, there's a lot more to dissect here. In fact, we have a video about this coming up. So if you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. It's a real easy way to support what we do, not monetarily, and you get the bonus of getting notified when we come out with this video. Although I guess for that you have to hit the bell also. But if you're watching this and you're not subscribed, I don't know what you're doing.
Smash that like button, murder the subscribe button, and then ring-a-ding that bell 20,000 times to make sure you don't miss it.
Yeah, exactly.
Bye, Jake.
Don't you love modern YouTube culture?
Right. What's up, guys? All right, I gotta. Anyways,
I fired 33 Raptor engines all at once.
A man was sprayed by the Deluge system, and he's presenting to the emergency. That's my best chubby emu. And no, don't full screen me. Don't do that. The second part of the question was, what are the essential tests we expect before the next launch attempt? I would expect a spin prime of the 33 engines. I would expect a 33 engine static fire. And that's about it. Seems like we're pretty close, but maybe I'm just, awash in the reality distortion field down here in Starbase. What do you guys think? Adrian first.
Overall, I think these are the major milestones, although I wouldn't be surprised if SpaceX does a single engine static fire to once test the steel plate under non-full chaos mode conditions. That is something I could have, or like a 3 engine static fire, something that is a bit less high on the stakes scale. So I could see that, although I think if I would have to guess right now and put my money where my mouth is, I would say a spin prime static fire launch. Well, spin prime static fire wet dress rehearsal launch.
Yep. If I maybe I didn't think about the WDR, but that makes sense. Sawyer, go. Sorry, you're in argument mode.
I was gonna
say, both fight Adrian.
I'm kind of along the same line, but since we're in argument mode, I'm gonna make it a little different. I think we may see 2 different kinds of static fires. Like you mentioned, one with fewer engines, obviously not the full 33, maybe more than one, maybe just one of the rings of engines. But I think they're going to need to do a smaller test and then another full 33 engine test, because I don't think you want your first time firing all 33 engines with the new steel plate to be on liftoff, because if that doesn't work, then you're right back to square one. So I think it's going to be spin prime, less than all 33 engine static fire, full 33 engine static fire, wet dress launch.
Yeah, makes sense.
Argument mode. I like
here.
Argument mode a lot.
I'm a big fan of argument mode. I don't know if you could tell. Let's see here. David Sukup, thank you for the super chat. Richard, thank you for the super chat. They say, oh wow, $50 tip. Thank you. They say, Methane Man here. Thanks for spending your Sunday with us. Absolutely. Does Methane Man have 2 accounts? I'm confused. Either way, thank you. That's very generous of you.
I think it's because you use tips.nasaspaceflight.com.
That makes sense. Thank you, Sawyer, for having a brain when I don't. Jim Cavett, thanks for gifting 10 Red Team memberships. Musical Wolves says, can Sawyer come up with a meme for the Deluge?
A meme for the Deluge?
I don't know.
I've never seen anybody putting on more pressure than Sawyer going full screen.
I was going to say, I've been put right on the spot with that full screen. Oh my gosh. What are you expecting from me? A Deluge joke?
Oh my god, nice. You did the luge joke earlier, so we'll give you a that was an older one too, so you probably fulfilled that requirement.
I think so far we lack concrete evidence that he has a good joke. Ready?
Wow.
Oh, don't steal my thunder. Come on.
Douglas, thank you for the super chat. They say, hey Jack, try any corn cob smoked bacon. I have no idea what that is. And they got something from the store, which was a... Go ahead.
Bacon around corn on the cob?
That sounds delicious. And I got merch pied. They got a metal print from the store because it's your last chance. Get the metal prints. It's your last chance. They're going out of the store tomorrow. All right. Torbjorn, hopefully I'm saying your name right. thank you for the super chat. They say, how long do you think the hot staging mod will take? Not long. I mean, once they get it validated testing wise, just put the little ring on top. Call it a day. Jim Cabot, thank you for the support. Douglas Richardson, thank you so much. Again, asking about corncob smoked bacon. Is that like you take the corn off the cob and you wrap the bacon around the cob? Everything's on a cob. I don't know how I feel about that.
Googling it.
I'd try it. I would try it.
I just
While you
want to
Google
point
it-
out that I've officially corrupted the entire NSF organization. I now have Chris B making puns in the back channel.
I saw that. He says you're delusional, and that is excellent. That is absolutely excellent.
Brilliant.
Yeah. This episode not sponsored by Brian. William, thank you for the support. They say, thanks for reminding me to order my metal print. Look, all you do, love all you do, oh my God. I can talk. That's what I do for a living. Love all you do to educate as well as entertain. Look, squirrel. Thank you so much, William, for grabbing some merch from the store. I can't talk while being merch pied, apparently. Thank you, Kevin. And Luca, thank you for the support. They say, are they trucking the deluge water in, or do they have running water at the launch site? And if they are, where are they trucking it in from? There's a fire hydrant just up Highway 4 in Brownsville that they have a meter on. And they send 18-wheelers with 18-wheel tanker trucks up there, fill them up, truck it down to the launch site, and it takes a lot of trucks. But that's how they're doing it right now.
Yeah, there's no ground line connection of water, I think, to Boca Chica in any way. So what are they gonna do?
Right. Douglas Richardson says, smoke the bacon with smoking burn corn cob. Yeah. Sure. Thanks for the super chat. I will Google it and see if that's something I want to try. And JGB with a $5 tip, thank you, JGB, says, speaking of spin prime, during a spin prime, what powers the turbo pumps? Are methane and oxygen both loaded? Yes.
No, you're not getting out of that. It doesn't say
it said methane. It said methane and oxygen. It said methane and oxygen.
It said methane and loxygen.
There you
Adrian,
go.
it's not on screen anymore. I don't know. I'm gonna need evidence. I don't believe you. So I'm just gonna move on.
SpaceX has now said it in one of their official streams, so it's canon now. But remember, you heard it here first. That was streamed with Thomas and I. That was when that began.
All right. Well, I don't want to trigger argument mode again, so I think with that,
Kevin,
we will wrap.
Oh, we can make this fast. We can make this fast. Just raise your hand if you're in favor of calling it Loxygen. Oh, that's 2 votes. If you're against that, raise your hand. Oh, that's just 1. That means Loxygen wins. Democracy.
Yes.
There we go. 2-1.
Fine. You do the outro. I'm gonna go.
No.
Go eat your mac and cheese. Oh my gosh,
I love that
you full screen. Yeah. I think we need to change that from content manager now to former content manager now that he's gone.
Is he really gone? Will he not come back?
I'm really gone. Do the outro.
Okay, then first off, because we always like to do that at NSF Live, we want to thank our members of the highest tiers we have, which are our flight directors, launch directors, and our flight engineers, which you can see here, which is incredibly full list. Thank you so much, everybody, for supporting us in this way. It really, really keeps us going. So thank you so much. And if you see your name there, feel especially. And with that, do I really have to thank people now because you're not coming back?
he did a 2-box.
Yeah, it's just you and me now.
Oh man, no, for real. Thank you so much to all of our members. Thank you, especially our launch directors and our flight engineers. Thank you to everybody that supported us during the stream. Thanks for getting the merch. I mean, if you don't have the ability to support us monetarily, either way, thank you just for coming out and watching. I mean, if people didn't watch this stuff, the YouTube algorithm would not work at all for what we do. And
wait, you're saying that it works?
debatable. And we want people to be excited about Starship. So we're just glad everyone's excited. If you haven't hit subscribe, hit subscribe. It's a free way to support us, blah, blah, blah. Also in the background, we had Kevin Michael Reed operating the stream. He did not catch me eating Easy Mac. So I win, I think. I feel like I should be in argument mode with his info box, but I keep going the wrong way, dang it. Anyways, oh, he was being nice, he says. Sure. A likely explanation. I'm just digging myself a deep hole right now, sort of like Booster 7.
There you go.
Anyways.
Yeah.
Hey, cool deal. Well, that was a fun one. Thank you all for enjoying the Insanity and Chaos team with us today. Trying to bring you a little bit of news, but also just having fun while we do it. So hopefully it wasn't too much for you there. But yeah, we're going to let y'all head out now. I'm going to head back to the launch site and see if I can get, or production site, and see if I can get any more hot staging ring goodness. But yeah, have a great rest of your Sunday, everybody. And we will see y'all on the next one.
And here we go.
We have liftoff. Propulsion continues to be normal.
R68 chamber pressure looks good.
Doubling up. Roger, with planet.
Water towers, fly! Yes! Echo down to nominal.
Flight downside FT off. Bring in FT off. It's orange! 145!
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Decollage.
What is it?
Put that in the big bag,
343 unfolds to go.
Indeed.
We rise together back to the moon and beyond.
If there's methane, it'd be igniting in the flare, correct?
Yikes. Keep that. We don't need any more of these.